The most obvious trade in crypto has been staring at you right in the face, but the question is, can you see it? There's an ecosystem right now that's literally sucking the attention and liquidity from the Solana and Ethereum ecosystem. As we know, money flows where attention goes, which means there's an opportunity for you and me. In today's show, I'm going to show you and dig into this ecosystem and show you a few altcoin gems I think are going to rip super hard this year. And one of the largest companies in the world literally just flipped bullish on crypto. This is massive news. The macro section is crazy today, guys. This is one of the most important videos you will watch all year. If you're excited for this, do me a favor, destroy the like button. If you're new to the channel, what's up? My name is Chasse. I've been in crypto for 13 years. My goal here is to bring you all the knowledge I've learned to help you absolutely crush it over the next 6 to 12 months and really for the rest of your life. So if you're new, subscribe, hit that bell notification so you get notifications as soon as I drop these videos, as they are time sensitive. Without further ado, let's get into it. All right, guys, let's start off by taking a look at the daily chart over here on Bitcoin, and things are looking pretty good if you ask me. People were getting a little bit scared over here when we came back to like 91,000, but next day, bam, bounce back, and we're back in business, ladies and gentlemen. Let's take a look at the ETF flows. Now, the interesting thing, as we talked before, is that Bitcoin seems to be slowing down a little bit. But what does that mean? Well, we can see there's actually $90 million coming into the Ethereum one. And Bitcoin's not, it's not like nothing's happening, right? There was still $103 million of inflows yesterday and 90 million into Bitcoin. Okay, moving in the right direction. But if that doesn't make you bullish, the rest of the news will. And remember, we're going to get into some amazing ecosystem stuff right now, but it's really, really important that I let you guys know on a daily basis about the macro stuff that's going on, because this is unprecedented times, like where nothing like this in the world has ever happened before. Literally life-changing money, life-changing opportunities left and right. And it's important to keep your finger on the pulse. So the government of the US, China, and the UK collectively hold 463,109 Bitcoin worth 43.2 billion, representing 2.34% on Bitcoin supply. And now it's actually a little bit more, because most people make the assumption that there's 21 million Bitcoin. But if you're new to space, newsflash for you, there's actually not 21 million Bitcoin. Why? Well, because estimates are that between, on the very low side, 3 million, but up to 6 million Bitcoin are lost or destroyed forever. Meaning, I always like to use the number because I think it's reasonable that there's actually 18 million Bitcoin, right? And so if you use a number for 18 million Bitcoin, that would mean that the governments actually hold 2.7%. Not a huge difference, but nonetheless, they hold a significant percentage and it's just getting started, right? We talked about Brazil, and Dennis Porter over here says, I can absolutely guarantee without a shadow of doubt that there will be multiple states and countries that copy the Pennsylvania Strategic Bitcoin Reserve legislation crafted by Satoshi Act Fund. It's happening. The dominoes are beginning to fall. Over here in Hong Kong, just in breaking news, Hong Kong to eliminate capital gains tax on Bitcoin and crypto for hedge funds and family offices in bid to become a global crypto hub. Financial Times. Now, this isn't mainstream China yet, but we all know that Hong Kong is a subsidiary of China, essentially, and it's kind of like the testing grounds, right? And we also know that from recently in the news, we just told you about it, China said it's not illegal to buy Bitcoin and crypto and to hold these assets and to trade them. So huge progress in the East being made right now. And let's take that a step further. Just in, publicly traded Chinese company SOS to purchase $50 million worth of Bitcoin. This was just announced the other day. $50 million worth of Bitcoin. And we just told you the other day that Bitcoin was basically unbanned from China, and it's starting already. Do you understand the gravity of what is happening here, ladies and gentlemen? It is absolutely astonishing. And just like the playbook with Michael Saylor and MicroStrategy, SOS, once they made this news, the stock cranked up 77% when they announced their plan to buy $50 million. You've got United States doing strategic Bitcoin reserve. You've got countries like Brazil initiating strategic Bitcoin reserve, and United States and El Salvador. Others will follow. Other states within the United States will follow as well. Now you've got companies doing this as well. We're going to talk about some more in just a second. And remember, there's all-time low Bitcoin on exchanges, and there's really not so much Bitcoin to go around. I mean, there's something like, I haven't rattled off this fact in a long time, but there's something like I think there's maybe 50 million millionaires in the world. And there's only, let's say, 18 to 21 million Bitcoin. So if every millionaire in the world wanted to have one Bitcoin, they couldn't. And now it's not only that, but you have the likes of billionaires, countries, pension funds, endowments, everything buying Bitcoin, and not just one, in masses. It's crazy to me that every millionaire doesn't have a Bitcoin, because it's impossible. They just can't. There's just not enough to go around. Let that sink in. It's pretty wild when you think about it. Pretty wild. Do you know how rare it will be in 10 years to have one Bitcoin, right? It'd be unbelievable. And believe it or not, below $100,000, in my opinion, is still cheap. Charles Schwab. Schwab spokesperson says the company plans to offer crypto spot trading once the expected regulatory shift occurs. CEO, we also would like to directly offer crypto and Schwab is the crypto market. Can't overstate how big of a deal this is. Now, I was like, what the hell is Schwabize? And he just says that Schwabize is like basically getting rid of the spread and making a more efficient trading market, right? But Charles Schwab, how big is Schwab? Why is this a big deal? Well, because they're a $9.85 trillion asset manager. $9.85 trillion. So the biggest financial companies in the world and countries are getting involved. $9.85 trillion in assets. It's unbelievable. I mean, it's almost as big as BlackRock, right? Like, that's crazy. Now, Mara Holdings, we talked about them recently. They're not letting the foot off the gas. Mara Holdings, a Bitcoin miner, acquired an additional 6,474 Bitcoin, $615 million after a $1 billion raise, bringing their total holdings up to 34,794, an average purchase price of 95,395. So they're late to the party, but they're not really late to the party, right? They're like the second most aggressive one after MicroStrategy. Good job, Mara Holdings. Very, very bullish for them. Also, remember the Japanese company Metaplanet also buying more Bitcoin to raise $62 million through floating price stock rights to boost its Bitcoin holdings. Current holdings, 1,142 Bitcoin. Here's the top 10 public companies to hold total 485,385 Bitcoin on their balance sheets. So we know that, and look at Mara or Marathon, they're about 10 times less than MicroStrategy, but they're just getting started. And it seems like they're getting pretty aggressive with it as well. These top 10 publicly traded companies that are holding Bitcoin, they also hold 485,000, which is also, again, about 2.7. So between the top countries and the top 10 publicly traded companies, this doesn't include the ETFs. That's like 5% of Bitcoin supply. Are you paying attention? Are you paying attention? This is the craziest stuff that's happening right now. And just a little fun fact, since it is Thanksgiving, happy Thanksgiving to all you Americans out there. I'm having my Thanksgiving dinner with my friends here in Thailand tomorrow. But anyway, last Thanksgiving, Bitcoin crashed below $16,000 exactly 4 years ago. They called it the Thanksgiving Day Massacre. Everyone who bought the dip is up 480%. Booyah. And guys, look where we're getting here. We are getting to altcoin season. The altcoin season index over here is leaning more toward altcoin season than it is Bitcoin season. That's very important for today's show. All leading into the perfect setup, guys. I'm so excited. I have allocated where I want to be allocated. You guys know who've been watching me for a long time, pretty much how I'm set up. I will do a portfolio video coming up pretty soon. Probably sometime in December, but certainly, yeah, probably sometime in December because I need to do it before the alt season really kicks in. Bitcoin dominance shows incredible top signs as it broke down from the 4-month trendline support If Bitcoin stabilizes, alts will outperform from here on out. Look at this. It completely broke through this trend line. Bitcoin dominance. When Bitcoin dominance starts dropping, that's altcoin season. And of course, we talked about this yesterday, Ethereum futures open interest is spiking. And we talked about earlier the flows from Ethereum ETF. So Nikios says, get some ETH betas in your portfolio before it's too late, because ETH is the next to go to all-time highs. I swapped all of my USDT into ETH now. No point in holding stables unless you want to place some limit orders in case you get some drawdowns or something. But ETH has max downside of 20% and upside of at least 2x. It's a good asymmetric bet on that one right there. Close to $4 billion has been bridged from Ethereum L1 to Base L2. For perspective, Coinbase itself has $270 billion in safeguarded assets. So a tremendous amount of value has been bridged over to Coinbase. We're going to talk about that more right now. Now, what's really important to notice here is we're going to go look at this section over here, right? This is your net flows. How much money is going from which chain to which chain? And it doesn't matter which time period you're looking at. 1 month, Base, by far the most money coming to the Base chain. Oh, you might think, oh, well, Kyle, that's just cherry picked to 1 month. Well, no. Let's look at 1 day, okay? Ethereum and Base. Why? I just told you it's Ethereum season, Ethereum and Base. But let's go look at, I don't know, let's look at 3 months, Base, right? So no matter 7 days, Base. Base is by far right now the ecosystem with the most capital flowing into it. We know that the Coinbase app is number 1, and Base right now is just hoovering up liquidity. Liquidity is going from Solana, it's going from Sui, it's going from Starknet, from Avalanche, from everything, from Arbitrum, from look at this is the word, Polygon, Blast, Ethereum, Linea, all going to Base, and some to Solana and some to Sui. If you're watching this channel, you know we talk about all 3 of these a lot. And that's where you want to focus your attention. You want to focus, money flows where attention goes, right? So we want to focus on that. Token terminal over here says, breaking daily transaction count on Base reached an all-time high of 9.1 million. The daily transaction count on Base is up 30x from January. This is just crushing. It's all because of Base's technology and because Coinbase is the best newbie on-ramp in the world. This is Dune Analytics. We can see all the metrics for for Base chain ecosystem are exactly what you want to see from growth. Up and to the right, up and to the right, up and to the right. Total value bridge, total revenue, total addresses, up and to the right. Weekly transactions, daily transactions, new daily address. Everything is up and to the right. This is exactly what you want to see, an evolving, exploding ecosystem. And Brian Armstrong, the GOAT himself, says, the internet of money is happening. The Lego pieces are ready to be assembled for consumer utility. Base is helping blockchain scale. ENS, Ethereum name service, is becoming identity. USDC has become a stable medium of exchange. Smart wallets reduce onboarding friction, etc. If you guys don't know, I'm an early investor in Coinbase. I'm very proud of that investment. And Brian is also covering a lot of what they've accomplished with Base Chain, with Coinbase itself, obviously, USDC, which is a partnership with Circle, which I also invested in, and Coinbase. And Smart Wallets is their easy newbie onboarding wallet that removes friction. Very based, Brian, very based. So Aerodrome, guys, is by far the best tech alt, or the most well-known tech alt on Coinbase, right? Remember, Base doesn't have a token itself. So we're going to look at what kind of projects are in this ecosystem, since it's obviously exploding. But what's interesting is we have all this data, but it doesn't seem like prices are yet reflecting. It's like all this liquidity, all this tension is going there, but we're front running that, which is very exciting. As you can see, Aerodrome is the #1 DEX on Base, right? And the market cap is under $1 billion, and the fully diluted is almost $2 billion. Now, I'll give you some comparisons to understand what that looks like in just a second here. There's some really cool things about Aerodrome, right? And when you look at DEX volume, out of all the blockchains, from Uniswap on ETH, from Radium on Sol, PancakeSwap on BSC, I'm actually surprised PancakeSwap is still doing so much. I don't even know people are really still transacting on on BNB chain. Anyway, but you can see that Aerodrome is coming in here at #4 on volume, so growing, and definitely the newest comer of the bunch here, right? Base just launching over the last year, while PancakeSwap, Radium, Uniswap were all from previous cycles. But the most interesting thing is still to come, my friends. This is interesting. So this seems to be all the EVM chains, right? Does not include Radium. That's okay. But this is DEX revenue, right? And if you look at revenue for the year, Aerodrome has done $193 million. 7 days, about $7.7 million. So $1.1 million a day in revenue. Now, this is the most interesting part that I love. So actually, this is something that I really love. And I'll tell you why in a second here. But one of the most insane charts in crypto is DEX revenue. And it becomes even more insane when you consider at the percent of revenue shared with holders, stakers, and lockers. So Aerodrome shares 100% of the revenue with token holders. Uniswap, 0. The token literally has like no intrinsic value. PancakeSwap, 70%, pretty good. Curve, 50%, pretty good. GMX, 30%, good. Pretty good. Velodrome, 100%, and Aerodrome, 100%. But Aerodrome's doing way much more, right? Way more revenue. That's pretty insane. So $1.1 million a day is going back to token holders. That is what I call player pump player. We'll talk about that in a second. To give you some idea of like potential upside, just pure fun speculation here. Aerodrome has a current market cap of $985 million. That's over a 7x to get to Uniswap, and that's about 1.5x to get to Radium. But it should be worth more because people are going to be buying the Aerodrome token to be getting the real-time rewards paid out from the revenue that's generating. It's generating insane revenue, right? But it's almost 3x to get to the FDV of Radium. So there's still plenty of upside, and we still haven't got to Banana Zone, right? We're looking for high quality altcoins that are lower risk with high potential upside over the next 6 to 12 months, right? And Aerodrome definitely fits the bill for that one. Now, it's not going to give you crazy 100x gains, but is it reasonable to think there's a 5, 10, 15x in there, 20x? Maybe, possibly, not out of the question at all. Right? So guys, if you're not following me on X, go do that at Kyle_Chasse. I posted this article that I wrote a while back called Protocol Pump Player, the Evolution of PPP. Meow, the guy who created Jupiter, he said that, basically he created this thing called PPP, and he said it was player pump player, right? And even though that's a nice idea, where it falls short is that this is very much a PvP environment, right? People are telling people to get into things, jumping on them, et cetera, right? And what Protocol Pump Player is one of my favorite things. Why? Because it's an evolution of Player Pump Player, which is like where we all come together, form a cult community behind an objective, and we don't necessarily rely on new people to come, and so we can use them for exit liquidity. Why? Because the revenue from the protocol buys a token on the open market, pumping the price of the token, and that's what the community can rely on for buy pressure, and they don't necessarily need to like say, hey, come buy this token and then sell as their friend buys a token, right? So this is called Protocol Pump Player. It's, if you guys just search on Medium, Kyle, Protocol Pump Player or something, you'll find this article. I'll link it in the description below as well. Go read it. It's really important. I think this is the future of the way tokenomics are built. And we're about to talk about 2 projects I've launched and ones that are very dear and close to my heart in the base ecosystem, and in my opinion, like Aerodrome is doing a phenomenal, like Aerodrome's, I didn't even know that until I did the research for this video, but they're doing a great job at Protocol Pump Player. That's why it's pumping so hard, right? And they're doing $1 million of revenue, and they're valued right now at $2 billion FTV, right? And I'm fairly confident that the next 2 projects I'm about to tell you about will also be producing similar revenue. I'll get into that in just a bit. But Commonwealth is another great project that is not a meme coin on the base chain. This is, in my opinion, one of the most innovative, unique projects in the world. If you guys have been watching the channel for a long time, you know about Commonwealth. It's actually insane. It's I like to describe it as Robinhood meets A16Z meets Wall Street Bets. So things are being built out, but we have community. It's called Alt Street. There's questing platforms, and Commonwealth funds have been getting like KOL allocation and things that only VCs normally get access to. And so it's a typical fund model, just like A16Z or Sequoia or whatever. It allows the everyday person, you don't have to be a accredited investor, to invest into funds And these funds are getting insane deal flow, like some of the best. If you look down here, invested into Chainlink, invested into Asymmetry, which is doing really, really well. Invested into Pepe Coin, which is doing well. Nyan Heroes crushing, right? And all these other really cool, all these amazing projects. Analog, BitLayer, Rabbit, Blue Whale, My Network. These are Live Art is amazing projects. Multisync, Koi. Guys, these are all domains. This is all really, really good projects that if you invested in one of these funds, the Alpha Fund or Prices Fund, you're getting allocation to these things. And my bet is that these things return huge. And so Commonwealth right now, it's a little slow and people a little slow to react because these haven't started returning yet. And it's not the season yet where VC projects have actually returned really well. And everyone's kind of waiting to launch their projects. And so a lot of these things haven't launched yet. Pre-market. But when they do, I'm sure that these things will return really good multiples. And for new people coming to crypto, they don't know where to invest. And let's face it, investing in the secondary market, buying tokens on an exchange, or just going and like randomly buying XRP, for example. Like I've met people before that told me, Kyle, I invested $5,000 in XRP. It went down 10% the next day. I got scared. I took my money out and like, I'm never going to invest again, right? That's scary, right? So Commonwealth is a platform built for the mainstream. It's literally like Robinhood or whatever. And it just helps people onboard into Web3 and does vetted AAA deals for them, serve on a silver platter, where they don't have to think about selling tokens, buying tokens. They can just invest in stablecoin. They get stablecoin paid out to them. And the protocol, it's a PPP, protocol pump player tokenomic model, where all value, all fees generated go back in the token ecosystem, just like Aerodrome. So it's obviously one of my favorite projects. Of course, I'm very, very biased, but insane project. They're shipping, they're delivering. They've got funds. There's a new fund coming out soon, which is called the DTF. I think it's been announced, which is a decentralized ETF. They haven't announced it officially. Well, I'm leaking to you guys a little early right now, but you'll be able to buy easily the top 5 cryptocurrencies, the top 5 meme coins in a super convenient, easy to on-ramp way. And that's just getting started. There's so much more. They built a NFT marketplace where people can buy and sell allocations into funds. Like it's really, really cool. It's in beta still right now, so there's still a lot of work to do to make it nice and super sleek on the user interface, but they're working on that. Still one of my favorite projects, and it's working already. It's working. So Commonwealth, they said, we reached $9 million of assets under protocol in just 5 months and will only go higher. This is going to explode. So assets under protocol is like assets under management, right? And it's already reached $9 million. It's pretty damn good, right? That's not like fake DeFi money where people just like reward airdrop farmers. This is real people using the protocol, and there's $9 million right now being managed by this decentralized VC. It's insane. This is the birth, what you're watching, guys, is the birth of real Web3 products that are decentralized on-chain being used to change the lives of people. I can't stress enough how excited I am for this. Okay, guys, and the next one that we're gonna talk about is paid network, right? And this is another protocol pump player, PPP project. And I just want to quickly update you guys because there are some amazing sales coming up. Live Art, for example, is sick. It is the point is that it's gonna be launch season soon, right? And Paid Network invented the LCO model. It's the community first and the only launchpad that I'm aware of where 100% revenue goes back to the token ecosystem. 100%. When you start doing the math and you look into it, it gets pretty insane. Like we're talking about what seems to be some projections that seem similar types of revenue to something like Aerodrome, right? Now, just these are assumptions that we have a similar type of altcoin season to last bull market. But if that's the case, then very similar. So what I really want to do here is show you guys some recent developments here on CryptoRank over here. So CryptoRank shows you all the launch pads in the space. And if you go by all time, Paid Network right now is number 3. Number 3 of all time, number 3rd best launchpad in the space, only second to Fjord Foundry and OX Bull. But if you look this month, it's actually number 1. Number 1 launchpad in the entire world in the last month. And another amazing metric is if you go over here and you look at this, the sum of the market cap of all the projects that have ever launched on all the launch pads, the one with, so this one I think is not Gagarin, like it doesn't even count, right? Like Gagarin, why doesn't it count? I'll show you why it doesn't count. Because all the value that's being counted here comes from essentially, go to market cap, from Say, and they said there's a $15,000 allocation from Say, and I guarantee you that probably went to insiders, right? Same with Layer Zero. So all the value comes from these two projects, and it's not even like these were real public sales. Like $15,000, no one got into these things, right? That's probably almost entirely by the team, my guess. So I wouldn't even count those. So if you exclude that one, the number one launchpad in the world is Paid Network by market cap of projects launched. I'm extremely proud of this. We work quite hard to make sure that we bring the best projects at the best valuations for you guys. And that's a sign of things to come, guys. Paid is back, baby, with vengeance. Now, another thing too is I'm not going to give financial advice. I really can't do it, considering especially I am one of the co-founders of Paid. But what you see here, guys, on this chart is it's really getting close to here breaking through this season's resistance, all-time highs, right? Once it breaks through here, it goes into price discovery. It's only 1.5 cents away from doing that. But when you zoom out and you really see what's going on, you know, it was one of the most hyped projects in 2021 and had a massive correction. And we've just been focused on building and focusing on how to be the best, deliver the best value to you, the community, and the paid participants. That's what we've been doing. And you can see now the results speak for themselves. Number 1 or number 3 launchpad in the world, depending on how you look at the data. Again, I'm just pointing out data. I'm not going to give you speculation on what the price could be because that's not legal for me to do. But what I will tell you is just the data here, right? And you can see that right now it's the all-time high was $6.04, and it's sitting here about 7 and almost 8 cents. So it's about like an 80x to go back to all-time highs. Is it going to go there? I don't know. I'll let you guys do your own research and make your own decisions. That's about as much as I can tell you, being as close to the project as I am. All I can tell you is that it is between the deals that I get, bringing them to Paid, bringing them to Commonwealth, and making sure that that trickles down and that you guys get the same kind of opportunities that I do is what I'm working on, right? When it comes down to the rest of the base ecosystem, when it comes down to meme coins, for example, that is also a fun place. If you want to gamble in the meme coin space, you guys know that I talked about Brett a long time ago, and I'll show you here in this video. It's clear that Brett is on its way to $1 billion. I mean, you see the numbers, you see it's coming in, and people. So that was 566 million, and it's currently sitting here at 1.58 billion. It touched, if you look at the chart over here, it touched almost 2 billion, and you have this double top over here, right? Double top, bam, up, just crazy up, and then boom, huge correction. Would have been amazing to buy here, but did you? Probably not. And it tested this resistance. Now it's resistance, boom, didn't quite break through. It will attempt again over here. I'm confident of it. Once it goes past all-time high, again, price discovery, sky's the limit, baby. My guess for Brett, this bull run, 50 billion or something. It's maybe more, right? Maybe more. It's the number one meme on the number one EVM chain. And when it comes down to Coinbase, the project, the base chain itself, it doesn't have its own token. So the biggest alpha play or leverage play on, if you're bullish on base chain, then Brett is the leverage play there, right? And I'm highly allocated to it. It's one of my biggest positions. I just think that this is pretty much a no-brainer. Now, if you want to get a little bit more degenerate, very good community. Andy is another one from the Boys Club. By the way, if you don't know what the Boys Club is, and you probably know who Pepe is, but if you don't know who Brett and Andy are, then go check out the video. I'll put it in the description below as well. I made a whole little documentary. It's quite fun on the Boys Club and Matt Fury. So Andy is another good one on base as well, part of the Boys Club. Well, Land Wolf as well. I forgot about Land Wolf. And this other one, guys, that I think is going to run really, really hard is Mr. Miggles, right? So this is like the Coinbase kind of official cat, right? And as you can see, it was kind of just chugging along over here. Let's go to the daily chart. Had some extreme excitement initially. Bam, huge correction. And then boom, recently some big attention. And then it kind of has been consolidating, coming down, and has this perfect support over here, this downtrend. Wait for it to break through this trend line to confirm the next leg up, and sitting at currently $97 million FDV. I don't have an exact price target for this thing, but my guess is it definitely probably gets listed on Coinbase, knowing that people at Coinbase and Kraken are listing meme coins. It's one of the most popular ones on Base, and the Base ecosystem is just warming up. We've given you all the data today to support that. And so Mr. Miggles, in my opinion, would be another good one if you're looking for a lower cap, good play. It seems to have a really vibrant community, a lot of great people over there. So you can see, look, friends, they made a video about Mr. Miggles. I look so cute here. And this was actually posted.
When you posted,
this is actually posted from Coinbase account itself. And this is actually Mr. Miggles over here. And you can see that if we look at Dune Analytics over the past 30 days, holder growth from all the meme coins, Miggles is number 4. And in the past 90 days, it's also number 4 in wallet holder growth. So it's actually growing quite big, and it's sub 100 million right now. Probably goes to, I don't know, 5 billion this bull run or something like that. I wouldn't be surprised, but do your own research. I don't know. It could go to 0 also. Just be aware of that. And Midjet's theory is Coinbase will eventually list a coin this cycle, and it will fly to crazy all-time highs. I honestly think Miggles has a really good chance at this. Miggles was my best trade this cycle, and I've bought a lot at this range for this thesis. While my main bag is Miggles, I also try to buy a lot of KeyCat as well for the same thesis, heavily invested in both of them taking a chance. That is a thesis. That seems to be the general thesis there. Okay, and last thing, guys, is this incredible thread. I'm not going to read it all, but if you want to know more about Base AI, I talked about it recently, and I just wanted to remind you guys of something, but this is insane, right? So check out this thread from, maybe I'll link it in the description below, from at 0x_DAS. And Committer is the lead dev of Base AI. He actually updated the community on what is Base, and this is really, really impressive. But one of the things I wanted to tell you guys is that I forgot to mention in the video yesterday or the day before when I talked about Base is, and look at this, $213 million FDV right now. Still, regardless, I think this is incredibly cheap for what they're building. But when the mainnet goes live, all of the rewards from people staking Pepe coin will be released. And there will probably be a lot of people who take the opportunity to take profit and they want to rotate it. They won't see the big picture. They're going to cheat out of it. And that might be the perfect time. So, I mean, this thing could skyrocket between now and mainnet, but oftentimes in the crypto markets, we have a buy the rumor, sell the news kind of event. And so maybe what happens when it launches on either the 30th or December 1st, wherever time zone you're in, there could be a sell-off, and it could be an amazing time to buy into the project. If you've been looking and waiting for a good entry, you might just get it this weekend. I just want to remind you guys of that. Have an excellent one. I'll catch you later. Bye-bye. Ready for start recording now. Because to the moon. Okay, you ready to film?
Ready? Set. Hello, guys.
Hello. Yep, and pay.